Hello and welcome. Hope you've had a great week. Sit back, relax. Welcome to the show Off the Bench, proudly brought to you by GRV, celebrating the contribution of women to greyhound racing this Sunday at Healesville, featuring our best female trainers and race caller, Victoria Shaw. So if you're in the area, get down to Healesville and see a great day's racing. Well, we have a massive show. Ros Lanigan will join us a little bit later on to give us all the latest news and a sharp focus on the Gippsland area. Another great feature story, which Ros will stick around for. The GRV Challenge. I'm sorry to say I lost to Pickers last week. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, as well as the wheel. So without any further ado, the 97 Cargie Greaves medalist and favourite of the 95 Brownlow, Liam Pickering. Welcome, Picks.
Hello, Swatter. It's good to be here. How was your week? A little bit fresh, I would have thought.
It's been cold, snowing up our ways.
Snowing near your place, for sure.
Snowing up our ways. So enough about that. We've got a big show, as I said. A man that spent some time in another cold place, Ballarat, of all places.
Beautiful place.
In his younger years, doing a great job with the AFL, the Football Operations Manager, that is Mark Evans. He joins us on the program tonight. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks, Swatter, and congratulations on your Hall of Fame selection, joining Pickard. You're in Pickers, aren't you?
Here we go.
Thank you, Mark.
We're already starting, Duncan. Come on, mate.
We're lobbying hard, Pickers. We'll get you in.
Hey, now, you did do your education. You finished off your university was at Ballarat University, so you'd have some fond memories of Ballarat.
I spent a bit of time growing up in a town called Beaufort, so moving into Ballarat was the big smoke in those days, and so I played for Beaufort Footy Club in their junior program, 13s and 16s, and then straight into the seniors from there. Year 11, straight into the seniors, getting bashed up by Skipton down the road and places like that, and then stayed there when I was at uni as well. So had a great time at Beaufort.
Yes, well, it's a great breeding ground, of course, up that way. Now, the Eureka Stadium, tell us a little bit about the reconstruction of that stadium for AFL football potentially in the future.
Yeah, Ballarat City Council and the Victorian Government have been working with the AFL and the Bulldogs to bring this up to a level where we can bring home and away games into Ballarat. Completion date is still unclear for us, but hopefully we'll see some games there pretty soon.
Have they tilted the ground? I don't understand they've rotated the ground.
I think that's correct, and the rest of the stuff is about laying down the best turf we can get and setting up supporter amenities so that it qualifies to be at AFL standard.
Well, you see the time lapse and you understand how much work's gone into it. It's a $15 million investment. The Bulldogs are scheduled to play games in 2017 at that venue.
Yes, they are, and working a longer term arrangement from there, but it'll depend on the completion date of the stadium as to what can be achieved next year.
We've got some great players that are playing in the modern game that have come from some pretty famous country areas in the state of Victoria.
Yeah, and you know firsthand a few of those guys. I look at that list and you see, obviously with your time at Hawthorn, Luke Hodge and Joe Ruffhead and of course Louis from Warrnambool. Fair breeding ground, the bush.
It's a good breeding ground. In fact, I've been overseas with most of these guys too on international rules, and so you know that when they come through from the bush, they're good quality people and they know how to do it the hard way. So they've been terrific servants for the game so far, and still an exciting time left in most of their careers. So
we've got some of the modern day players doing some great things at the elite level, but we've got some exciting young talent coming through with the under-16s and under-18s.
Yeah, we have, and in fact, Vic Country have one of the prospects really for the top pick in the land with Hugh McLuggage. Certainly a quality midfielder. Got clubs sort of getting very excited now about how they could fit him into the midfield, but there's Will Brodie and Ben Ainsworth as well, so I think we'll have a few from the top 10.
Well, I reckon that's 3 in the top 10 that you've just talked about there. Probably 2 of the first 3, I would have thought. Now, talk us through we want to know what the split's going to be when the old cashola comes out. And I'm talking from a player manager's perspective here.
Yes, he is.
No, I'm not. I'm talking from a country perspective. I mean, the filtering of the funds with the TV deal. How does it work for country football?
Look, it was certainly a really good result with the TV deal, but we also have to remember we have to try and set up our code to be as strong as it is for the next 20 years. So the challenge in all of that is to work out how much goes into each bucket. I think we know that we have to really attack grassroots football and do whatever we can in country and metro areas, but it's not easy out there. Kids are quite happy these days to turn on the TV or turn on computer games. We need to make sure that they remain active, and then we have to convince them to be active with Australian rules football. And I think the programs that we've got with the Next Generation Academies will be very good for that. The Bulldogs have just spent some time in Warrnambool and Ballarat in the last fortnight trying to pick up good, talented kids, and the challenge for us is to grow it for both boys and for girls.
And what about the impact the women's game will have? Because I think that's a pretty exciting concept that we're dealing with coming forward. Will that have any impact on the way the money is split?
I think so. There's certainly 8 teams that will strut their stuff next year in February, March, and that will be so exciting. And I know one thing is for sure is once you put it onto TV and onto the elite stage, it will have an enormous impact on country clubs to make sure that they set up their facilities and their coaching programs and to bring girls into their clubs. And I think we'll see a genuine explosion of players coming from the country, and it'll become a real family event again where boys and girls are going off to the footy Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah,
it's very exciting. I reckon one of the things, Mark, and correct me if I'm wrong, with regards to engaging with the next generation of kids who may be deciding what sport they want to play, concussion would be a serious consideration for parents, especially mums of young players coming through. That's an area that's getting a lot of focus at the moment within the AFL system.
It is, and we know that what we put on TV runs down through junior competitions in particular. They look up and they see things from their stars, and we know that we have to make the game as safe as possible. So we've been working very hard at transposing some of the things that we do at AFL level so that mums and dads and people running clubs can run those same practices, understand head knocks, and if you're in any doubt, just take them out of the game.
Is there any consideration for helmets, for compulsory helmets for under 18 kids?
The view for us at the moment is that helmets don't necessarily help, particularly when you look at studies out of the US. Sometimes kids can be too brave inside a helmet. And there's certainly no evidence to suggest that there's less concussion because of helmets. So it comes down to a personal choice. If parents are happy for their kids to wear a softer helmet in AFL football, that's okay. Yeah. But we won't be making it compulsory off what we know so far.
Yeah, I think what we've done, or not what we've done, but what the game has done is recognise the significant impact that concussion can have on not only the elite level players but filtering down through the grassroots. So we applaud the code for recognising that, Mark. We appreciate you coming on. I know it's a busy time of the year, and in our appreciation for coming on, we've given this stuff out to Damien Monkhurst. He's still trying to work out how to put it on, but we're going to give you $100 worth of St Goliath clothing, combining streetwear trends with easy-to-wear style. St Goliath is available at my Edge clothing stores nationally. Thanks very much for coming in. Good luck for the rest of the year.
Thank you.
There we go. Mark Evans, the Football Operations Manager for the AFL. We're going to take a break. We've got a massive show coming up, Pix.
What else have we got on, mate?
We've got the GRV Challenge.
I know that.
We've got the Wheel.
We won that.
I know that. And we've got Ros Lanigan, who will join us when we come back on the program Off the Bench with more after this. Welcome back to Off the Bench, proudly brought to you by GRV, celebrating the contribution of women to greyhound racing this Sunday at Healesville. Okay, time now to head around the state. Yes, as we welcome the one, the only Country Footy's First Lady, Ros Lanigan. Welcome, Ros.
Great to be here once again, thank you.
It's great to have you here. Hey, we're going to have a look at Gippsland very shortly with a regional wrap, but we're going to start tonight with the Community Cup.
Well, that's right. We talked about it last week and it was held on Sunday in Mernda. Vic Country, a 39-point win over the Vic Metro boys. Great result, Pickers. It was almost an exact reversal of the last time they met when Metro won by 38 points 2 years ago. A great send-off for Peter Knights in his final game as Vic Country coach after 8 years at the helm. Now, the Country boys set up the win really early. They kicked with a breeze in the first quarter out at Mernda, and Albury's Braden O'Hara slotted 3 goals to put the Country boys up by 35 points at the first change. So that makes a hell of a lot of a difference. Country only kicked 1 in the second quarter, but the game was wrapped up by that stage. As you can see, O'Hara, as I said, kicked 3 all in the first quarter. Ryan Bongetti kicked 2 and Ryan with 2. And the best on ground for Vic Country, the David Code medalist, was Jason Cole, who is from Seymour in the Goulburn Valley Footy League. Really good win for the Country.
They're never going to beat us at Mernda. Yeah. I'll say that now. They'll never beat us at Mernda. I don't know where Mernda is.
Why was it moved though? Why was it played at Mernda?
Because there was 4 games to be held at Coburg City Oval, Preston City Oval rather, across that last weekend, and they got a bit scared about how muddy it would be, and it was shifted out to Mernda. But I don't know who that favoured. I don't know if that was a country home game or a city home game out at Mernda, but oh well. Country boys got the job done. So
they did, and well done to Peter Knights, who's been in charge for 8 years. We had him on the show a couple of weeks ago. He's made a significant contribution. So well done, Knightsy, and good luck for whatever pursuits you pursue moving forward.
Sorry, quick shout out to Damien Sexton, who coached the under-19 Vic Country side to a win earlier in the day over the Ammos.
Well done, Secco. We're focusing on Gippsland tonight, Ros, with our regional wrap.
Yeah, a place that's pretty close to my heart. As you know, in the Gippsland League One, Thaggy Power winners over Sale. It was a 7-point win to the Power against a side they probably should have beaten by a fair bit more if they want to have an impact come finals time. That's my opinion. The Power was sitting 4th and Sale was 9th heading into this game, and Sale were actually in front at half-time. But Thaggy kicked 8 goals to 4 in the third quarter to propel them to that narrow win. Troy Harley booted 6 goals for the Power, and Simon Bates and Adam Cook added 3 each. John Gooch kicked 3 for Sale, and he's been doing it pretty well.
Oh, the Parrots.
The Parrots. Liam Gather remains the front runner for the flag this season. Their game against Maffra was called off last weekend due to flooding at the Maffra Oval. So that would have been a 1 versus 2 clash. It ended up being a draw, and they got 2 points each. So a bit of an unscheduled freshen up for those two teams. Moe's sitting 6th, a game outside the top 5 there. They take on Thaggy tomorrow, and a Moe win will keep them well and truly in the finals mix, guys.
And it looks like my boys Bairnsdale are in a bit of trouble.
They are, and Moe and Morwell and Sale have been grand finalists the last few years, right down the bottom of the ladder. Now in the Mid-Gippsland Football League, 6 rounds to play until finals, and I wouldn't expect the top 5 to change too much from here on in. That would mean Thorpedale would finish 6th for the 3rd year in a row. So they're fast becoming the Richmond of the Mid-Gippsland Football League. Newburgh's 2 games clear there, but I reckon flag favouritism hinges on the 1 versus 2 match tomorrow. The Bulldogs head out to George Bate Reserve at Yallourn North, and whoever wins, I reckon, will gain plenty of confidence heading into finals. In the North Gippsland Football League, a bit of a changing of the guard this year with last year's grand finalists Rosedale and Hayfield sitting mid-table there, as you can see. Sale City still the flag favourite, but the Dogs have hit some patchy form in recent weeks. They suffered their first loss of the year to Churchill in round 12 and then scraped over the line by 4 points against Hayfield in round 14. There's still a couple of games clear there, but I don't think the premiership's a foregone conclusion as some people might have thought it was a few weeks ago.
Now, what's this I hear about GWS trying to get a foothold in around the Geelong area? What's the story?
Yeah, so the Geelong Football League club Geelong West St Peters, that's a fair mouthful, could be known as the GW Giants as soon as next year. They've held preliminary discussions with Greater Western Sydney. Now, Roosters officials flew to Sydney last week to meet with Giants CEO Dave Matthews, who is a former chairman of AFL Barwon, so he certainly knows the lay of the land in the Geelong area. Now, there's also talks with Geelong and District Football League club Geelong West, don't get confused, there's 2 Geelong West, Geelong West and a Geelong West St Peters, regarding a joint venture. So what we could see in the next couple of years is both of those clubs play as the GW Giants in their respective leagues next year and then forming one club the following year, which is a really interesting thing. Geelong West, of course, a growing part of Geelong, and hopefully they can get something sorted out.
Pix, how does that sit with you, given the fact that GWS have a reasonable academy arrangement up north?
Well, I think it's more from a community perspective, but I mean, I don't like it. I don't like it personally at all because it's all about Geelong from my perspective, and we don't want those Giants. They're already good enough. I don't think we want them filtering, I should say.
I didn't think you'd be happy.
The Geelong area. That's my view.
A couple of country clubs already wearing the Giants jumpers, as we know, Dartmoor Giants, which is Jeremy Cameron's home club, and also Currumburra Beena in the Alberton League wear the Giants jumper as well. So there's a couple of little alignments starting to form. Smart marketing.
As that unfolds, you'll have all the news and you'll bring it to our loyal viewers in the future. Ros, what about GRV news?
As you've mentioned, Swatter, it's Ladies' Day at Healesville on Sunday, celebrating women in greyhound racing. Now, it's not just behind the scenes that women are involved, but on the track as well. All trainers, staff, and even the race caller, Victoria Shaw, will be female out on Sunday at Healesville, out and forced to celebrate women's involvement in the sport, and it's a really fantastic initiative, so get along if you're in the area.
Absolutely, if you are in the area, pop along and see some of the best female trainers and Victoria Shaw, the best female race caller. We're going to take a break. Ros, you're sticking around because there's a fantastic story about a local legend at the Evoca Football Club. True?
True.
All right, stick around. The feature story, the GRV Challenge and the wheel still to come. Off the bench with more after this. Welcome back to the show, brought to you by GRV, celebrating the contribution of women to greyhound racing this Sunday at Healesville. If you're in the area, get down and see some of the great greyhound racers and trainers and race caller. Hey Ros, back to you. We've got a great story about a local legend with the Eureka Footy Club.
That's right, and I went down to have a chat to Tom Elliott. He's also a teacher at the local primary school and the kind of volunteer that every footy club would love to have.
In small country towns like Avoca in Victoria's Pyrenees, the success of a footy club is driven by community spirit, and you'd struggle to find a more generous volunteer than Tom Elliott.
Tell me about your memories growing up around the footy club.
I always tell people, my students at school, that some of my best memories of all time come from this place, for sure. We lost the premiership, I think, the first year, and the second year we won one. And I think if you watch the video, I only handballed the ball once, but I have the medal, and, you know, and I show the kids at school. I
believe you've played in every grade of football here?
Back when we were struggling, I think you played every grade on the same day. Did kick 6 goals straight, which actually was 7, against Denali in a senior game in the late 2000s. I think they put me there more for entertainment value. Denali weren't travelling real well at the time.
I still think he's got some games left in him, but we can't get him back out on that oval for some reason. We don't want to lose him from the back of the shop.
I didn't ever retire. I just stopped playing. I don't know if that makes sense. Now I'm that busy, I couldn't play. I physically would be standing on the oval and someone would be standing out there next to me telling me that there was no toilet paper in the toilets.
Tom does it, so sometimes a lot of people leave the Tom to do, but I think people would step up and do it. It may not be done as well, or it'll be done in a different style, but yeah, at this stage, he's got a good system that works, and we're happy to have him doing it. He's fantastic with the youth coming through the primary school. He makes them talk to the community and really get involved, which I think is fantastic, because a lot of kids these days they might bury their head in a mobile phone or on a computer game,
Jai, tell me what Mr. Elliott's like as a teacher.
He's very good at maths and stuff, and he makes our learning more fun. We do sports on Tuesdays, and he does all different, this week it was soccer, and he makes teams up, and it's really fun. In
most country towns, when the bell goes at 3:15, all the primary school kids that play in under-11s, they race down to the footy oval. They can never get enough practice, and then the same when the school buses come in from Maryborough at around 4 o'clock, 4:30, all the guys, they might grab a bit of fish and chips or something before training, and then they're straight down the oval.
Tom, tell me what a Saturday home game looks like for you.
I get down here about just before 7. Soap in the showers. Sometimes we get a blower and blow around the outside. I have all their jumpers already laid out, ready to go. Don't usually yell at the kids, tell them to get outside because they're kicking footies inside. Flat out with paperwork. Bring the wood raffle down, I have the wood, then clean up the rooms usually. I run the dishwasher. Get the numbers over to the scoreboard. It's quite a lot when I start thinking about it.
When you reel them off, are you even surprised by the amount of jobs that you do?
Yeah, I don't want it to, come across that I'm the only person there doing it, because there's so many people that do all this other stuff. But I just sort of do all the little bits behind the scenes, I guess. That's why it sounds like a lot. I think I saw it somewhere. The older you get, the more you realise that people have absolutely no idea what they're doing. And all of a sudden, you can become that older person and you say to your mates, we're doing this and we've got no idea what we're doing.
We've lost Moonabel, Manu and Landsborough out of our league. And you go back to those towns now and there's not a lot happens there. I would hate to see our club ever fold, and I'll do everything in my power, and I'm sure that's why Tom does what he can to keep it going.
I couldn't sit over there at home and I can hear the footy oval from my house. And know that these kids are down here and think that no one was sort of managing how it all worked. Look, all kids move on and go and do great things, but some do stay around. So, and even if you do move away, if you ever come home, it's a good spot. There's nothing wrong with Avoca. That's how I see it.
Tommy Elliott, you are a star. But Pix, was that a feature on Tom Elliott or was that a feature on Ros Lanigan? I'm confused.
I can't quite work out what the feature was. I think it was about Ros and how she looks.
I tend to agree with you, my friend.
A lot of questions, a lot of look at me's, but overall, very good story.
Oh, he's a star, Tommy Elliott. Well done. Congratulations.
In fairness, though, I think you could do a bit more.
Yeah, do you really? A little bit more. Hey, the GRV Challenge, it started a couple of weeks ago, and the information that I got was that your dog last week ran and won. In actual fact, Very Pretty, what a beautiful dog's name, got up, that was my dog, and extra bit of cash goes back to the footy club last week. 1,900 smackers.
So the 1,000 already, plus the 900 you won. I can't believe mine let us down, but anyway, it's life.
Well, it's on again, and who are we playing for?
Lindenow this year, Lindenow South actually, football netball club. So
Get a grand already.
They've already got 1,000, right? So we've got 500 each to put on.
Righto.
You think you're on it? You're one in a row.
I'm on fire.
But
I picked the dog's name that reflects you. He's panicking, and it's going from box number 1, 500 to win. It loves Warrigal. It's placed 10 of its 12 races out of this box.
Yeah, well, I'm on Lucky Tetris, and I think it'll be lucky this week. It's well boxed. It's won 2 or 3 from the 8 box, and I think that can get the chockies.
All right, good luck to both of our dogs. Thanks for joining us, Ros. We're going to come back with the odds and the wheel when we come back off the bench with more after this. It's our favourite part of the show, the Celebrate at the Country Races wheel, with lots of goodies to be won each and every week. And the major prize, a $2,500 marquee package at the Kilmore Cup later this year, and that'll be drawn on our Grand Final Eve show. But we need contestants in order to spin the wheel each and every week, so get your entry in, and all the information about celebrating at the country races at countryracing.com.au.
Yes, that's right. And this week our lucky contestant is Robin Lister from Holbrook. So good luck to you, Robin. I'm going to give it a nice big spin for you.
$1,000.
Chance, real chance.
Nah.
Real life chance.
Oi.
Oh.
CRV Online Hospitality voucher, $200 worth. So well done to Robin. And get all your entries in, countryracing.com.au, as well as the T's and C's. All right, Picks, got some decent games coming up this weekend in the AFL. Time now to have a look at the William Hill online racing and sports betting odds. William Hill, faster, easier betting.
Let's fly through them this week. So what a massive round of footy. Richmond and Essendon. Well, Essendon, you'd think they were pretty good against St Kilda last week, but the Tigers should win, who were good against the Dogs. North Melbourne should be far too good for Port Adelaide. They're a bit up and down, a bit fluky for mine, Port Adelaide. North need a win desperately, as do the Dogs. They're shooting for a top 4 spot. Gold Coast on the improve.
No Ablett, no Riscatelli.
Don't worry about that. No Risca, no Gaza, more likely.
Yep.
Melbourne 180. I think they'll get the chockies against St Kilda, although the game is at Etihad Stadium, which sort of suits St Kilda. Well, look at the top 4 odds.
How is Sydney the third favourite? I don't get that.
I don't get that either. That's just they're too generous.
They are.
Tough
we're
draw.
done, Pickers. Thanks for joining us again. Thanks to Ros. Thanks to Mark Evans. Have a great weekend. Good luck to the football and netball teams, and we'll see you next week.